water, maybe one of these bats, and about this much clay. All right, let's do the centering trick. Where you take a little bit of water. This is a pretty big size of clay. I'm going to draw a pretty big circle here. And then make sure to eyeball my clay and get it as close to symmetrical as possible, nothing sticking out. And then put it in the middle of that circle that you just drew. Okay, go ahead and pat it down. Now, since this is going to be a plate, we want it to be a little bit flatter. So I'm just going to keep pounding it down and also making sure it's centered first. And as you see parts that are a little bit lumpy, get them as much centered with your hand without actually throwing as you can. Okay, remember the big difference in plates and bowls is that we're not going to open a plate. Basically, we're never going to do this. All right, this clay is a little bit larger than what we've been working with, so it might take a little more leverage. All right, here we go. This is a pretty good speed to go at. Take your foot off. Both feet on the ground, and I got both elbows on my knees. Okay, I'm wrapping my whole hands around it for centering. If this is what you typically do, this should work as well. If what you typically do is this, then I would do this for plates as well. Still have my left elbow on my leg. Hands are locked together. They're not moving. They're just consistently pushing on the clay. So my left hand is pushing in, and my right hand is pushing down. So what I'm using for my right hand is mostly this area. And just kind of pushing it down like that. The only reason why you need water is to reduce friction. So if you've been pushing on it so much that you've kind of wiped all the water away, just add a little bit more. Want our hands to glide over it. And for plates, if you typically do this kind of centering, I think it's better anyway. If you want it to get flatter, eventually what we're going to be doing is making this much shorter and much wider. So this kind of helps with that process. Keeping my body nice and still. Alright, that's centered. Now, if it's mostly centered, you're like, well, there's just a little part on the outside that's not quite centered, you can cheat. If you have one of these, and you just need to kind of outline the outside, you can do that. That'll scrape all that nicely. Keep your wheel nice and clean, not too much water or slip. And if your hands look like they're covered in slip, you can wash those off too. Alright, that looks good. Water, maybe one of these bats, and about this much clay. Alright, let's do the centering trick. Where you take a little bit of water. This is a pretty big size of clay. I'm going to draw a pretty big circle here. And then make sure to eyeball my clay and get it as close to symmetrical as possible, nothing sticking out. And then put it in the middle of that circle that you just drew. Okay, go ahead and pat it down. Now, since this is going to be a plate, we want it to be a little bit flatter. So I'm just going to keep pounding it down and also making sure it's centered first. And as you see parts that are a little bit lumpy, get them as much centered with your hand without actually throwing as you can. Okay, remember the big difference in plates and bowls is that we're not going to open a plate. Okay, so we're never going to do this. All right, this clay is a little bit larger than what we've been working with, so it might take a little more leverage. All right, here we go. This is a pretty good speed to go at. Take your foot off. Both feet on the ground, and I got both elbows on my knees. Okay, I'm wrapping my whole hands around it for centering. If this is what you typically do, this should work as well. If what you typically do is this, then I would do this for plates as well. Still have my left elbow on my leg. Hands are locked together. They're not moving. They're just consistently pushing on the clay. So my left hand is pushing in, and my right hand is pushing down. So what I'm using for my right hand is mostly this area. And just kind of pushing it down like that. The only reason why you need water is to reduce friction. So if you've been pushing on it so much that you've kind of wiped all the water away, just add a little bit more. Want our hands to glide over it. And for plates, if you typically do this kind of centering, I think it's better anyway. You want it to get flatter. Eventually what we're going to be doing is making this much shorter and much wider. So this kind of helps with that process. Keeping my body nice and still. Alright, that's centered. Now, if it's mostly centered, you're like, well, there's just a little part on the outside that's not quite centered, you can cheat. If you have one of these, and you just need to kind of outline the outside, you can do that. That'll scrape all that nicely. Keep your wheel nice and clean, not too much water or slip. And if your hands look like they're covered in slip, you can wash those off too. Alright, that looks good. Still going at a medium speed. Now I will say that the wider we get, the more you're going to want to slow it down. Because this is, once it gets to be this wide, that's going to be, this speed is going to be pretty fast. Okay, so now that it's centered, like I said, we're not going to open it. We're just going to sort of smash it and widen it. So I'm going to have my left hand here, and my right hand, and I'm using this meaty part of my hand here, is going to start in the middle, and it's just going to go towards the 10 o'clock position. So my hands are going to move together. Now the reason why I put my left hand here is because you want to avoid a mushroom situation where the top's getting wider, but the bottom is not. So you don't want that. What we want is the whole thing getting wider. So this clay is going to spread out, this clay is going to spread out, it's all going to get wider. So, here we go. Medium speed, both feet on the ground, left hand here. Pushing down with my palm right in the center. And now I'm pushing my palm out towards the 10 o'clock position. This is if you're right-handed. And somehow having my left hand there just lets me know what's going on down there and make sure that I don't have a hollow spot. When you get all the way to the edge, pick it up slowly, start again in the center. We do want the edge to stay a little bit thicker because we have to have that as the rim of our plate. Okay, a little bit more water, there you go. Clean it off my hands. Start again. This is a common problem. Smashing that middle part. I have a problem doing that too. Just start again in the center. Focus the palm of your hand on that middle part to get it little bit flatter, then start moving it towards the 10 o'clock. Okay, I've got this big bump there, so I'm just going to focus on that for a little bit. Starting in the center. Pushing that clay out towards the other parts of the plate. And just be conscious of how thick this is. So if you want to stop and measure, good idea. Because you don't want this to get any thinner than half an inch, but I'd say probably 3/4 of an inch is a good thickness. So let's measure what I think is the thinnest part. Slide your finger down. Yeah, mine's getting pretty thin right there. It's a little more than half an inch. So I'm going to stop pushing down, and I'm just going to kind of level this up. Check to see how thick yours is. That's pretty good. Please do one more of these, and then we'll start working. Okay, so if you're thin enough, I would switch to your kidney now. And for this part, we're going to start towards the center, and then work out towards the 3 o'clock, and then back in towards the center. And this will also get out that little lump in the middle if you have one, which I usually do. Work it out. This is also compressing the clay, making it less likely to crack. Out towards the 3 o'clock and back. Alright, that's a little bit smoother. Alright, looks good. Do you have a kidney doing stuff? Pretty good. Slow it down just a little bit. Next step is going to be the rim. We're almost there. Okay. What you're going to do with this, just like this. Whoop. Oh, sorry about that. Okay. There we go. We're scraping it out. Scraping it back in. Oh, keep doing that. There we go. Alright. Okay. I'm going to slow down just a little bit. Okay. Alright, you guys ready for this? The rim right now is a good inch thick from here to here. So, we're going to thin it out. Working at the 3 o'clock position. And when we pull the cylinder, we started here at the back. Gradually run our fingers together and squeeze them straight up. So for the plate, we're going to do the same thing. Gradually bring our fingers together. Squeeze them. And then when I pull them up, I'm pulling both fingers together at the same time, but kind of going at this angle. Okay? And when you get to the top, you can slowly release and start again from the bottom of the clay. Gently squeezing the clay between your fingers, bring them up. Remember, we want the thickness of our plate right here to be about 1/4 of an inch. That's an ideal thickness. Down here will still be a little bit thicker. That's fine, because we need it to be able to support the clay. It can't be super thin. It will probably fold over if it's really thin down there. But all this stuff will get trimmed back. I think maybe one more time for me. you have no extra moisture on there. I'm just going to clean it off with a sponge. Clean off this with a sponge. Okay, now here is aesthetic choices. Do you want your plate to be a little bit more flat and then kind of have a corner and then go at an angle? Or do you want it to be more like a kind of a large, shallow bowl? Yeah, like mine is right now, where it really has this constant curve and no corner. But if you buy plates in the store, you know some of those plates have flat and then flat. So this is up to you. But if you want something different that has something flat on the bottom and a flat edge, you can make that happen with your kidney. So I'm just smoothing it out, making it flat here. Clean it off. Then I can create the angle that I want with my kidney here and make it flatter as well. That's up to you. I can also lift this up a little bit more with my kidney. So form it with your kidneys and then we'll cut it up. Good. All right. How's it going? How about you? I'm almost done.
I still need the bowl that I made for my mom from Mother's Day.
Okay. Check and see if it's okay.
If it's ready.
Yep. There's a lot of stuff in there. Maybe on the bottom.
This looks great. Yeah. I painted the bowl for my dad from Mother's Day green. Cool. Because green is my dad's favorite color. Is it? Wow, that's nice. Sometimes I can get messy with this. Did you notice?
Yeah. I get messy pretty much every day. That's why I wear this shirt every week. I wash it and I wear it again. Okay. To keep from slicing through your plate, we take our potter's needle and I'm just going to slowly spin it. And I'm going to cut in right here with my potter's needle a little bit. And that gets the cut started. So I'm scraping the back with my potter's needle and cutting in almost an inch. Okay, so do that first. Do that. Then I recommend taking this off. And now that it's partially cut with the potter's needle, now you can take your wire and slice through it like this. Following that line that we just cut with the potter's needle, pulling slightly down, and then cutting all the way through. Okay, you can't lift this off the bat right now. It's too big, so don't try. We're going to let it dry a little bit more, and then we can take it out. But a lot of people will make a really nice plate and then cut and lift like this, and they'll slice it through. You ready to cut it? Mm-hmm. And if the sun's out, we can put it on the sidewalk in the sun to dry a little